do a good job within the company, they can actually grab, hold, and even stop disasters from making.
Okay.
They can make timely decisions on the spot. For example, one year we have a character who is supposed to be a Vietnamese refugee in the United States and then became the school principal.
Oh.
To me, it is good that you have a Vietnamese refugee, a female Vietnamese refugee. To me, it's good that you have a school principal who is a Vietnamese female refugee. But the character itself was too caricature. His speech was full of accent. His demeanor was very exaggerated, and that is somewhat uncomfortable.
Right.
I was at the position to tell the producer, this character, hey, this character may be problematic. How do you do that? You go and talk to the Asian community, the Vietnamese community, and ask them to view this tape and give you their response. And using that response, I was able to ask the producers to tweak the character so that her demeanor, her speeches were consistent with the character itself. Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of decisions only when you are within the organization and within the process, the decision-making process, you can make. If you are outside, you can only make a decision post hoc. Mm. You have to wait until it's already televised and people start launching complaints, but the decision is already made and you have to take a very long time to revert that decision.
So what do you think about Taiwan's TV programs, the quality and everything, or maybe what we can learn from American TV and Singapore TV even?
Well, because we are commercially supported, even though we have a lot of really great scholars, I think I do respect them. Because we're commercially supported, a lot of time the decisions were made based on economic reasons. Okay. For example, we have so many 24-hour news channels.
Yeah.
Therefore, everyone uses S&G to do timely news. But we all know newsworthiness is more than timeliness. You have to make a decision on whether this piece of news is worthy of public interest. And that's the reason for being for any news organization. Mm. In Taiwan right now, if you have a disaster, for example, a car accident, if your competitor send an S&G and reported it live, you have the tremendous pressure to also send an S&G to report it live. Mm-hmm. So if from morning to night, I see a lot of timely news being repeated, but very few relevance being discussed. Mm-hmm. Very few discussions, very few real insightful analysis. And in a large media environment in the United States, every hour of news program, when I was there in 1980s or early 1990s, every hour of news program, we spend out of pocket, that is net of personnel and other costs, we spend $400,000 US out of pocket.
Why would you do that?
Because you need to have really great editorial work. You need to have every piece of news, if it is worthy, then you would have second report, third report, fourth report behind it to give it more depth. Mm. And if you take a very close look at Taiwan, most of the time on the hourly basis, we're reporting the same piece of news. We have a lot of repetition, but we don't have the second news, the second and the third and the fourth stories in our language. You know, you have to go deeper. You have to go expand beyond what you see as the phenomena. For example, a few days ago, a 71-year-old man made a major protest in front of the presidential palace, right?
Yeah.
So we have some people reporting why he was there. There was no second story, third story, fourth
the
story.
one who set himself on fire.
Right.
Okay.
So that's a very good example. If you decided to report that news, it is not just the act itself. Behind this act, there were so many threats.
Right.
And for a self-respecting news organization, you will go and try to trace those threats and try to make sure that you are making the right analysis, even the right criticism, so that the society can move towards a self-reforming direction. And that's the purpose of media. I see tremendous pressure, and therefore I don't follow those first-line people. You know, their bosses will say, you know, look at XYZ station, they have this car accident, therefore you must have it. But year after year, day after day, we're only looking at repeated individual, sometimes disasters, sometimes individual success stories, but we don't have any force to move the society to the positive direction.